This is Drayano. Anyone in the Pokemon Romhacking scene should know that Drayano is the godfather of all Pokemon enhancements. Having made enhancements of all these hacks, this guy simply knows how to make a good, hard Pokemon game without adding excessive bullshit. With the nearby release of Pokemon Blaze Black and Volt White 2 Redux, and with that the comeback of this legendary ROM hacker, I think it's time to explain to everyone just how impressive this guy is. How did Drayano change the landscape of Pokemon ROM hacks? Let me explain. All the way back in 2009, a new account was created on projectpokemon.org by the name of Drayano. Back then, his prowess in making games which plenty of people would go on to make careers out of by playing them on YouTube was not yet well known, but that happened to make a change in that same year of 2009. In that year, the first of his now well-known series of difficulty ROM hacks was released by the name of Pokemon Fire Red Omega. In 2009, YouTube nor ROM hacking were quite too big yet, but from the popularity Pokemon Fire Red Omega is still gaining in today's era and the subtle but monumental changes that were already made at that time, you could tell that people started paying attention to his hacks from the start of his career. Talking about the monumental changes. As said in the intro, Drayano has the ability to take a Pokemon game from the original series and turn it into a game that has everything any serious Pokemon fan could really dream of. In every one of his games, every single Pokemon up until that generation you are playing in is catchable and usable. This makes, first of all, for the variety and replayability in his games to be at an absolute god level, as you have the ability to use almost any team that you would want. Besides that, the difficulty of his hacks is the main reason that Drayano still has such a big influence on every single ROM hack with a smidge of extra difficulty implemented, as the method of adding that extra difficulty most likely had to do with Drayano. I will get to more of his influence later though. Although Pokemon Fire Red Omega was already quite ahead of its time and you could feel a lot of the things that made Drayano great, you could definitely notice that this was the first serious hack that Drayano made. A lot of things were not quite that polished yet, and compared to some of his later games, a lot of the features in Pokemon Fire Red Omega could really only be called bland. This was soon to change though. In the years of 2011 and 2012, Drayano would go on to release some of the most iconic Pokemon enhancements that would ever grace the earth. In order, Pokemon Blaze Black and Volt White were released. After that came Pokemon Sacred Gold and Storm Silver. And lastly, during that time period, came Pokemon Blaze Black 2 and Volt White 2. These games would go on to create the norm for Pokemon difficulty. The way things were done with the AI of every single trainer, the balance of the gym leaders and their levels, and the amount and quality of features that were newly introduced during these games built upon the already nicely playable features and specialties of Pokemon Fire Red Omega, and boosted them up to 1000. After this reign of terror, a break of more than 3 years was made by Drayano. During this period he probably took some time off, but more than 3 years later, the wait was worth it once again. Drayano, as people have come to expect of him by this point, made more mods that once again made an enormous impact on the ROM hacking scene. In 2016, Pokemon Rising Ruby and Sinking Sapphire were released into the public. Remakes of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they were the first hacks of Drayano made into the Hoenn region, and the first hacks of Drayano for the 3DS. After the 3DS remakes, another break was made. By some tweets that Drayano has made through the years, there was a possibility to tell what his next project was going to contain. Indeed, a couple of days before 2018, Drayano sent out a poll asking if he should work on the 7th generation remakes or Pokemon Platinum. In a complete landslide, Pokemon Platinum won, and from that point on, the world had another project to look forward to. Tension was building up. Throughout the year, you could tell that Drayano, slowly but surely, was making progress on his new ROM hack of Pokemon Platinum. It was delayed, and then delayed again, But at the end of 2018, the wait would be worth it, as Pokemon Renegade Platinum would come onto the scene as the new Drayano ROM hack, and would once again blow everyone out of the water. Considering the mighty repertoire and the legacy Drayano has left behind so far, no one would seriously blame him for retiring from the ROM hacking scene, and for a short while he disclaimed that he would. After the COVID-19 pandemic hit, however, he is once again out here making projects for us to enjoy, as we are all currently awaiting more of his avid Pokemon mods. I will talk more about the future of his hacks later in this video though. This is where we are as of making this video, with Pokemon Renegade Platinum as the last hack that is currently available and more to wait on. Let's see here though, what makes a Drayano game so special? So, I have been raving on about how great these games supposedly are. But why are they that great? Am I spitting mad shit? I am not. Allow me to elaborate. Difficulty is something every slight Pokemon fan can agree upon. It is soft as f in the original games. Drayano felt the same, as he did something very special. He upped the difficulty in his games, but in a way no one has done before. Not only did Drayano up the levels of the Pokemon in his games, he quite literally gave full-on new Pokemon with new moves, new abilities, items, and most importantly, fully functioning AI. He quite literally made the games in a way that everyone wished they were as soon as they saw through the soft-ass difficulty that Pokemon originally presented upon them. The difficulty, although it is definitely the biggest feature of his games, is by far not all that makes his games such a joy to play. He did not simply enter into the benchmark that features in Pokemon Romhacks have to obey to in this time to be slightly playable. He quite literally created them. In every one of his games, you are able to catch and use every single Pokemon that is in the game. For reference, this means that in Pokemon Sacred Gold and Storm Silver, you are able to catch and use 493 Pokemon, as that is the amount of Pokemon that is available in a 4th generation game. In Pokemon Blaze Black and Volt White, versions 1 or 2, you are able to catch and use 649 Pokemon, and so on. Not only have these Pokemon been added, but most of them have also been changed in a way that they are more fun and viable to use. With that I mean that a lot of base statistics have been changed, crazy evolution methods or levels have been altered, and a lot of new moves have been put into these Pokemon's movesets to give them an actual use. Besides that, the story of these games has actually had altering as well. A pretty well known one is the Safari Zone event that occurs in Pokemon Sacred Gold and Storm Silver. Right before the 6th gym, you get called out to move to the Safari Zone to team up with certain characters from the Pokemon universe in beating a bunch of Team Rocket members and admins. More so, in Pokemon Blaze Black and Volt White 1 and 2, you have the option to find the 3rd generation gym leaders in every city there is an actual gym leader, to give a renaissance to the Hoenn region, and yet another spurt of difficulty and versatility in the ways Drayano may challenge you. These kinds of things made for a showcase of the creative ability of Drayano. And these kinds of features are apparent in every nook and cranny of his mods. I try my best to tell you how good these games really are, but the only way you will fully realize what I'm saying is by playing them yourselves. So, if you have yet to pick up one of his games and try them, please do. I promise you will not be disappointed. This video is titled with How Drayano Changed the Landscape of Pokemon Romhacks, so it is only fair to talk about the influence his games have had on the Pokemon ROM hacking community. As I've said before, these games have become the norm of what it means for a ROM hack to have a difficulty tag put on them, or to have decent features. His changes have become so well accepted that there is no doubt anymore what features are fundamental in any decent modern ROM hack, unless you're playing something insanely advanced like Pokemon Radical Red. Talking about Pokemon Radical Red, If you have heard of this game, you would know that the idea of it originally came from the games of Drayano. This is quite the common trend among a lot of ROM hacks that have any kind of difficulty attached to them, and a lot of popular ones come to originate from the ideas of Drayano. The entirety of his influence goes way further though. His games have been seen for a long time as the perfect games to do nuzlocke and challenge runs on, without the need of any modifying to the game itself. This is quite unique, as before his games, you would need to modify a bunch of things to your games like randomize them or up the levels, as the games would be considered plain boring if you did a challenge run on the original ones. Countless amounts of nuzlocke, egglocke, hardcore nuzlocke, or even casual playthroughs have been turned into very successful YouTube series, and have given birth to a lot of careers revolving around that kind of content. This is if we're only talking about YouTube though. Careers like that of the well-known streamer Pokemon Challenges have got a huge boost due to him playing his games, and Drayano's Pokemon Platinum enhancement of Renegade Platinum has given the popular streamer Ludwig a lot of content as well, as his games are, as I say, the perfect kinds of games to do a challenge run with. I mean, Ludwig is actually on YouTube now. But you get my point. It is quite extraordinary what kind of influence these kinds of games have had on the ROM hacking community and the careers and lives of people in general. Hacks of 2011 and 2012 are still being touted among the best hacks currently available, and there is still so much content being made on them. Where does his journey go from here? What else is to be expected of Drayano? Well, we never really know. As of making this video, we should be very close to the release of Pokemon Volt White and Blaze Black 2 Redux, which is primarily made by Aphex Cubed and only assisted by Drayano. From the screenshots that are currently seen, it is expected that this game will add on a bunch of features from the original game. Besides that, Drayano has announced a remake of his original Pokemon Sacred Gold and Storm Silver as well, naming them the V2 versions of his original hack. He has had to take a break though, as his comeback is only recent, because the pressure and messages he got over finishing his remake got too taxing for him, which, for someone with such a strong following, is very much understandable. Honestly, you never know the future. Drayano has shown signs of wanting to quit before, after making Renegade Platinum, which only got discoursed by the free time he's gotten from the COVID-19 pandemic, and for all we know, he might eventually put a stop on his creations forever. Even though we might get to the end of the road soon, or maybe not, we can all agree that Drayano has left a legacy of fun, entertainment, challenge, and content. He has an amazing ability to create things that other people have not been able to create, even dating more than 12 years back. His games will always form a standard for any good Pokemon game, and his legacy and spirit will continue on forever. As an open letter to Drayano 60 from every single one of the players of your mods. Thank you. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this mini documentary of some sort. There is way more to come from me as well. Please subscribe if you are interested in more, and have a great day.